this trip. No, you ain't paid on it. We fighting. Last. Now everybody go to breakfast. Choco bow for the result, nothing to discuss. Welcome back, guys. As you can tell, if you watched the last 2 previous vlogs, you're gonna hear echo until I get a microphone. But we're in my new space, my new filming room, and today we're gonna continue. Sorry for the squeaking, it's my chair. We're gonna continue talking about how to cultivate friendships part 2. Okay, we're gonna make it quick. We're gonna make it straight to the point. But before we do, let's tame this hair because I have to leave in a few, for the fact being that I have work to go do. So let's get to it. Okay, got our hair in place for work. We only have like 40 minutes, which is more than enough time. So today we're going to be talking about how to cultivate friendships part 2. It's been a month since I posted the last one because a lot of changes has been going on. Excuse the blisters on my lips. When the weather is changing, it just destroys my face. Like, look at my forehead. It's just bad all around. So, in the first part, we discussed how before we can enter friendships or get into a friendship with somebody, you have to become that friend you desire or the friend you attract. Because it helps you understand yourself as a person and as a friend in general. Knowing what you can provide and what is your, boundaries. What you can tolerate, what you cannot tolerate, and how you go on from there. So now we have spoke about what you have to do and how you have to conduct yourself into becoming the friend that you desire. How do you go out and get that friend? Okay, that friend for a lifetime, that friend that has the same love that you will have for them in the friendship. Okay. Annoying. Cut this little piece right here because it's rude. Now, when you give yourself time to know yourself and know your hobbies and understand your core morale and your core values, because those are 2 different things. And if I didn't mention before, make sure you know the things that you will not compromise on when it comes to the type of lifestyle that you carry, because it's very important on the type of friends that you will be allowing into your life. So once you figure out where you are in life, you understand where you are in life, and you will understand that getting into a friendship, it's a selfless act that is actually necessary to just living, because it's a support. You have to figure out, what kind of support are you looking for? What things that you really value the most that you want this person to understand and genuinely want to display or to hold dear and valuable to them, as well as for yourself. Now let me use myself as a prime example. I value boundaries and self-worth. And what I mean by self-worth is that we all have our insecure moments in life and have moments where we don't feel worthy of certain things or whatever the case may be. That's not what I'm referring to. What I mean is you have a level of regard of yourself. You understand that even though that you might have some insecurity, your whole being isn't insecure. Okay? You are aware of yourself and that, you know what, you're not like other people. And that's fine. You are aware of your qualities and some of your weaknesses. Granted, you're not going to know all of them because sometimes it takes certain situations to make you aware of them. But overall, like, you have a good understanding of who you are. I want a friend to know who they are and is honest about who they are in the sense of commitment in their everyday life, because that everyday life is what's going to be in my everyday life, and I would want somebody to be honest about their everyday life, because if you're going to be in my life, that's an everyday thing. And I don't mean like physically seeing each other every day. I mean like just being present for each other, whether mentally, whether physically, of course, or emotionally. Just, you know, you grow a love for this person. Now, I really hate the statement love is blind, because truly the actual accurate statement is infatuation is blind. Okay? Love is very a self-aware thing. When you love someone, okay, you choose if you want to tolerate the flaws or not. You are aware of these things. You're not blind to it. You're choosing to turn a blind eye, but you are not blind to it, okay? Infatuation, you become blind to it because it's a fantasy. You're desiring a fantasy. It's a scenario that is being made up. When you love someone, you're going off of hope, but you know the reality. Either you want the reality to change majority of the time, or just hoping the person will change itself. But love is not blind, okay? Love is a choice. Love is something you actively work on every day. So that has to be understood on both parties. Like, the first question I would ask if I'm interested in making this acquaintance more of a friend is basically asking about their lives. I know a lot of times we go out and we talk to people and their vibe is really cool and you're vibing. Sometimes vibing is dangerous if you're looking to build something. Of course, friendships happen naturally. It's not something you can force, but it's something you can build upon depending if that person is who you want to build upon with, okay? So don't ask them what's their favorite color. It's not important. It's just like a relationship. The color don't matter. The color will not aid whatever real life situation that might come across where you actually and genuinely need support. What you need to be asking is probably, what do they do as a living? How do they feel about what they do as a living? That tells you a lot about how they see their life. What is their life in their eyes? Ask about, how do they get to that point in life and whatever career will make them go into it. And I'm only using work in a sense because some people are not willing to talk about personal aspects like family and stuff. So if the person is not fully comfortable and you're just getting to know this person, use things that people don't really think too much about. to really get a feel than other than just vibing and we're having a good time, if that is what you want to cultivate. Okay, if this is the person you want to make it more than an acquaintance, some of the stuff, reach out. As I said, in order for people to be selfless to you, you have to be selfless yourself. So sometimes you might actually have to take the first step even after a conversation and ask the person, hey, do you want to meet up for lunch? And I also advise, pick places where you can actually speak to the person. A lot of times we be like, yeah, you want to go out, and we clubbing and we drunk and we this, that, and the third. That's a vibing type. That is not a place where you can build friends, because you're not talking. You have loud music and we're here for a good time. I don't really know you. I probably don't even remember the first of your name. Like, I don't know you. We just vibing. It's a good time. We here to have a good time. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that, but building a friendship, you gotta get to know the person. Okay? Go out for lunch where it's quiet and, you know, one-on-one. You gotta treat it like a relationship. Okay? Where you can, through conversation, through body language, that you can kind of see, okay, can my personality go with this person's personality? Okay? Now, when I say can their personality go with your personality, I'm not saying that they gotta be twins like you, like y'all like the same thing, you vibe the same way, you react the same way. Now, granted, that can be one of the reasons why you build this friendship. One of my friends, we think alike in many ways. We see things very similar. Then I have friends where we don't see a lot of things similar. That doesn't mean we're not friends. She's one of my great friends. But it's things that makes friendships different in every person you encounter. So let's just say you meet somebody who has the same thought process as you and, you know, agree to a lot of things that you agree upon. They might not like the same movies as you. They might not like the same hobbies as you. But this gives you an opportunity to learn what's more into the world and just expand your experience as a person. Because friendships are way more than just being a supportive person in your life. It's way more than just not feeling lonely. It's way more than that. It's literally a free passport to seeing life in multiple ways. Because you can look at yourself in the mirror all the time, but at some point, you start looking the same. You can't notice the little things about you that are changing every day. That's why a lot of times when we gain weight, we can't tell we gain weight until we trying to wear that dress and they don't fit the same no more. Okay? Sometimes you need a second party or a third party to be like, girl. You know? And I don't mean like referring to your fat or something, but that's just an example that friendships are way more than just, oh, you cool, we vibing, I'm cool, we vibing, let's vibe together. Now, granted, we can vibe together, but you want substance. This is about building substance with people. You gotta build that substance, child. You gotta build that substance. So then, a lot of times, just like in your relationship, like when you're getting along with a boy and stuff, don't rush it. Allow the person to see that you're trying to build something and see if they're trying to build that too. Watch how they move, okay? Now, granted, we're going to have certain red flags. Let's discuss red flags. People are going to have red flags. But that's why you have to know your core morale and your core values. Not everything needs to be cut off because of every red flag. Now, granted, there's red flags that actually, as I was saying, of course there's red flags that you actually have to take action with. And then there's certain red flags that are minor in the sense to keep a thought about. As I was saying before, my friend texted me. For example, red flags. I'm going to speak on my red flags that will make me end or not pursue a friendship any longer. Not because you're a bad person. I just know in the future, me and you're gonna have problems because our personalities don't work, because certain things you're showing me, I feel like you're gonna cross those boundaries, and that's not gonna be good for neither one of us. Okay. One of my red flags, because I'm gonna start speaking Ebonics over here. One of my red flags that will make me end or not pursue you as a friend but keep you as an acquaintance, because obviously I don't have no issues with you, we just can't go any further. If you make really dumb decisions in life, like I don't mean like minor mistakes. Everybody, and not even minor. Sometimes we just make mistakes just to make mistakes because we're not perfect. But I mean like it's obvious it's dumb. We both know that you knew it was dumb and you did it anyway, where it alternated your life in the most outrageous ways when it was preventable. What do I mean by that? I don't mean, you went out, you enjoyed this guy made you fall in love, and now you're pregnant with his kid and he left you on the side of the road. That's not what I mean. That's a mistake. That's a life mistake, because at the end, you believed, and this man made you believe that he loved you, that end up with you in that predicament. That's not what I mean. That's not going to make me go like, oh girl, I can't be friends with you. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about... Ooh, I set it on my table. What I'm actually talking about, it's like, you have responsibilities, but rather than taking care of those responsibilities or doing certain sacrifices to put yourself ahead or correct those mistakes, okay? Or even just thinking about, if you're gonna risk this, do you know the pros and cons and weighing your options? Basically, having common sense. If you lack common sense, let's just say you have your rent money, okay? And your other friends invite you to a trip to Mexico. And today's the last day to get some special, so all y'all can go on this trip for somebody's birthday or whatever the case may be, okay? You have a choice to either decide not to go, because obviously right now, right here, today, the 1st, you have to make that decision. Or you pick your responsibilities. If you pick this trip, no, you ain't paying your rent. We fighting. We fighting because ain't no way you picked a trip over the place you need to sleep or lay your head over. Okay? Let's just say you enticed someone to be mad at you but try to play you're a victim. Lack of acknowledgement of your mistakes. Another red flag for me, if you can't take accountability, if you're the cause or you're in the center of a lot of things that are breaking relationships, we can't be friends, because it's already letting me know, one, you don't really value people's time, and two, you love the chaos, so therefore you're the cause of the chaos. These are things I cannot tolerate, and this is just a few. I personally love friends that have things going on in their lives where they're constantly working towards something and are growing as a person. It doesn't have to be materialistic, but just core qualities and just developing as a human and willing to learn. So, if you're not working towards something and you're getting older in age, or you're not valuing, let's say you have a child and you're not valuing that child, but rather being selfish during the prime stage of your child, you cannot be friends. These are the red flags that I do not ignore, because if things that should be a priority, that should be held at the top list, and they're not being held on the top of the list for you, then where are you going to put me? Obviously, I'm on the bottom. I shouldn't be the top priority, but like if your top priority, like your loved ones, let's say you have a kid, or in your bills and just growing, if those are not your top priorities every day to work towards, that's already letting me know where this friendship sits. Okay, that means you finna suck me dry and think I'm here to cater to you and be your yes man while you continuously make dumb decisions. And I am sorry for you, my friend. I can't do that. Nor will I do that. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. And these are just examples. Know what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. Because as 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 says, spoiled habits, so bad association spoils useful habits. That's what it says. You ain't gonna spoil my good habits. Ain't no way. Or the habits I'm trying to cultivate. We're not doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to help each other grow and hold each other accountable and say, hey, look, we're both slipping. What we're going to do about it? Let's make our lives better. I need the support. I'm kind of weak in this area. How can you help me? That's what I mean. That is what I mean. Okay? A friend that's willing to acknowledge and call each other out in a loving manner. I have to say that. Okay? Because a lot of people ain't loving out here in these streets. Next thing, we got to talk about communication. What is your communication level and what kind of level of comprehension does this person have? Both you and that person. You can communicate all day, all night, but if the person don't understand where you're coming from, it's going in one ear and going out the other, and certain things are going to be repeated. And who has time for that? I'm just trying to figure out who has time for that. Because I ain't got time for that. One thing I can't stand no more here is the way it shit. It's very disrespectful. The person you communicating with, do they have the same level of comprehension? What do I mean by that? Everyone has a way of speaking, obviously. And I don't mean language. I literally mean like the words you use to express yourself and to paint a picture for a person. Especially when you get into certain situations where it's argumentative or something that has to be expressed directly, no sugarcoating, anything like that. And it's not being translated the way you want it to be translated. No matter how much you put it in a certain way or you even try to paint a picture, the person is just not getting it. Not because they're stupid. We might say they're stupid, and granted, you know, it comes off stupid, but a lot of times it's not because they're stupid. Maybe your comprehension, your sense of comprehension is not the same sense as their comprehension. Because they could be in your position trying to explain something to you, and you yourself don't understand it. Does that make you stupid? No. It's just, neither one of y'all have a level of compatibility and a sense of comprehension in the way we're communicating. Now, granted, you can learn from one another and figure out, okay, how can I put this so you can really understand where I'm coming from. Granted, we could do that. We can put in the work. That's only if both parties want to do that. But a lot of times, we both leave frustrated and aggravated, still not understanding one another. And that plays a lot of roles why a lot of friendships end. Either they don't want to acknowledge that they're wrong. There could be a lack of acknowledgement. But a lot of times, too, is the lack of understanding or comprehending one another when we're communicating or expressing ourselves in a certain way. That's all it is. So you have to figure out how that will work, and that goes right back to what can we tolerate, what can we work with, And how do we move on forward? Either we leave it as associates, leave it as friends, or actually work actively towards it as if we are family to each other, which is quote unquote best friends. Now I go through these sectors because there's different kinds of friendship. Yes, there's different kinds of friendships. You ain't gotta be best friends for everybody. And a lot of times you'll encounter people that, depending on the dynamic of the friendship, there's gonna be friends that are low maintenance and there's gonna be friends that's high maintenance. I, for one, am a high maintenance friend. I require a lot, but understand that what I'm requiring is what I'm giving back. What I mean by that is I inquire that my friends are supportive, genuinely supportive of me, because I will do the same. I require my friends to love me the way I love them. And I'm not saying like they better be calling me every day. No, I do not talk to my friends every day. No, I don't. But what I'm saying is that, you know, when push comes to shove, we better hear from each other, okay? Are you alive? Are you good? Are you well? Third, I'm like a friend that is very honest, okay? Who finna tell me, like, hey, look, girl, you ain't got it together. Please, please, okay? When it's coming from the right place with good intent, please be honest with your girl. Because if you ain't, then what we doing here? Another thing, I want a friend to aid me when it's needed because it will be reciprocated back. What I mean by that is, if I'm feeling down, if I just want somebody to be here for me, like physically, spend time with me. I like quality time with my friends. That means we spend a lot of time one-on-one or just in our friendship group. That means way more to me than me going out every weekend with them. Why? Because we change as people every day, and technically I call it like an update friendship. It lets me know more about what new boundaries you cultivate as a friend, what things that you're not tolerating anymore, what things that you do want more out of this friendship, you know, things like that. How do you want me to see you? Those things matter to me. Another one, I am very big, I know I've said this again, but I'm going to say it again. I'm very big on boundaries. And what I mean by that I respect people's boundaries, and in return, I expect you to respect my boundaries. So what I mean by that is, I am not an argumentative person. I don't like arguing with my friends. I sure don't. It's rare that I argue with people, and it's rare that I get in arguments with my friends. I've had people I've been friends with for years, and they can never say that they got in an argument with me, because those are just the things that I just don't do. I ain't got time for that. My life is a soap opera as it is. You will not be added to the sequel. So a lot of times I learn my friends, and that's when I learn, because of my sense of discernment, through conversations. And the closer we get, the more we discuss our family lives, our childhood, and things like that. That lets me know, okay, these are not lines to cross. The person doesn't have to tell me directly, but I can understand by how this particular situation or this particular person have made them feel in the past or even present. That lets me know, okay, they don't like that. Therefore, I'm going to hold that in memory in order to respect that. That's just who I am. So, I want that to be respected on my end as well. Like, and that's what I mean, I'm a high maintenance friendship. I treat my friendships like my marriage in a way. Not the intimacy part, but just the goal in mind is to continue growing and building each other up, and to keep each other in our lives, because we aid each other in our growing stages, which is the rest of our lives until we die. We aid each other in our development stage, in whatever new phase we're encountering. People need people. Don't let this world fool you, telling you like, you don't need no friends, no new friends. It's just like that dumb saying, teen no sleep, all like, no, you need sleep. You need people. They might not be your family because we don't pick our families, but we can sure pick our friends. Okay? And you can decide that, you know what, I need this person. And friendship have teach me how to be selfless. Every type of relationship requires selflessness. As humans, we need interaction. Do not be ashamed to take that first step. Do not be ashamed to put yourself out there. Not every friendship that you want to develop is going to flourish the way you hope. Like, for example, this girl I really related to and just felt like our experience were very similar. That made me want to be her friend in her time of need, because when I was in her position, I wanted that friend and I didn't have it. And I found myself trying to prove myself what a good friend I could be, and at the end it kind of bit me in the butt because as much as I was trying to be there for her, she didn't like that. And that's okay. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. She didn't owe me that. And that's okay. And after a while, you tend to get the message, because I'm at this point where is it the moment or the experiences she's feeling, or is this something that she, really want to amplify to me? And we decided to have, she decided to have this conversation with me and tell me that she appreciated me trying to be her friend, but she felt like I was a high maintenance friend in the sense of just pushing myself to be there for her, and she just felt like she didn't need somebody to be there for her consistently the way I was trying to do. Now, for all my friends, I try my best to be there and be readily available to them. So I implemented that into what we were building. And for her, that just did not work. So, as I said, people know their limits and know what they can give and what they can get, receive. So, after having that conversation and her expressing that to me, I decided, you know what? This is how she wants the friendship. I'm going to respect those boundaries, because she's not obligated to be my friend the way I want her to be my friend, and she doesn't like the way I am a friend or how I navigate my friendships, and that's okay. Me, I am a high maintenance friend, so I like high maintenance friends, okay? And I have low maintenance friends, but those low maintenance friends love the way I love them regardless. So since that's not working out, we could just be friends. You see where I'm going with this? So I really technically hear from her, like, here and there. And, she has her own life, I have my own life. But that doesn't mean I love her less. It's just that that's a different kind of friendship. And that's what I'm going to respect, because that's what she wants. So even when you're going into friendships and stuff like that, keep that account, especially if somebody's voicing how they want the relationship to go. And if it don't match, find a compromising or a middle ground. Or just, if you don't want to do a middle ground with this person, just end it all. That doesn't mean you gotta have hate for the person. And please do not hold a grudge and be like, bump that. We don't gotta do all that. It's okay. Not everybody's gonna be your friend. But that's when you have to understand. There's a saying I say a lot, especially to my friends and just people in general. If everyone can afford a diamond, would it really hold its value? So not everyone is going to get you. Not everyone's going to love you the way you want to be loved. And that is okay. I can't stress this enough. That is okay. Because the ones that will get me and will love me the way I want to be loved, know that they're going to get that 10 times fold. And those are the relationships I will be giving a priority. So, just like the example of the girl I mentioned, no offense, she's not a priority, because we just don't, the way we handle our friendships just doesn't match. And, I left the relationship in her ballpark. and it's just something I don't initiate anymore. But do not let that make you afraid to initiate, because especially if somebody else is initiating, like, here's another example. I met these girls, went out, they initiated to go out with me. Even when something came up, they initiated again, and it wasn't like I turned down the first initiation just because. No, I really had something that come up. But her initiating again left a really great impression in me, because it let me know that she actually enjoyed the company that we spent together. And for me, I enjoyed the time too. So it was mutual. And when we went out, it was even better. And I can see a friendship cultivating from that. So don't ever be afraid to initiate the friendship, and just follow where the other person is going to make sure you both are aligned on what's going on, to know where we stand. Sometimes if you are confused or you are lost, ask questions. A lot of times we get into these friendships and we just assume the worst, or we just assume in general, but never ask the questions, never discuss the hard things that makes us uncomfortable. You have to discuss these things. Discuss childhood. Discuss how y'all grew up. Discuss the things that people are scared to talk about, like, how do I make you feel? Like, what do you expect of me as a friend? What do you feel like I can do better into this relationship? And then express what you want that person to do better. Like, it's a relationship at the end of the day. And ask for a hardcore dialogue. And you have to be able to have those dialogues, because without those dialogues, we're not going to progress. I don't know if I still want this ponytail, because my bun on my ponytail ain't given the way it needs to be given. Okay, it's not given what it needs to be given. And I feel like all this product made it all shiny. First, I don't look bad though. But yes, that's really all I could really discuss. That even when you're confused, as I said, have that hard dialogue and leave the ball in the other court if you know you've done everything to cultivate the friendships, and be okay with the end result, whether it just doesn't progress or it does and it comes to a stall. And sometimes, as I said, we get to different points in life that we might just outgrow each other, and that is fine. I feel like every downfall is a lesson, so keep that in mind. But that doesn't mean that you won't find a friend to compliment you. That doesn't mean that you're not going to find people that will give you what you desire. But also remember that you have to as well reciprocate what you desire as well, because it's not a one-way street. And knowing that friendships is a selfless act, it is a relationship, and you cannot walk in with pride. You cannot walk in with selfishness. You cannot walk in like you're the prize. That could be a very, very dangerous thought process, because at the end of the day, yes, we all diamonds grow, but we all need to be cut and be put under pressure to really get that shine in that craftsmanship. So you have to walk in knowing that, you know what, you gotta allow yourself to learn new things about yourself, learn new things about life and human interaction, and accept that we all need people. Let me repeat that again. We all need people. It does not end with just one person, but we all need people for different jobs and different needs and desires in our lives. And it's not bad to have a friend for each role. I know it makes it sound bad, but it's really not. It's really not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really had fun talking about it, even though I had a few hiccups. Leave down in the comment below what more do you want me to discuss, because I have a lot of topics and a lot of opinion, as well as a lot of sound advice apart from how I'm feeling. Okay, I got the logical side and then I got the emotional side. So make sure you leave your comment down below, and make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell to make sure you get notified every time I post a new video. Okay, the month of November, we're coming strong, posting every 2 to 3 days, so keep on the lookout for vlogs, for self routine, night routine, all of that good stuff. And I will be seeing you in my next video.